it's fascinating to see, especially from Ghost's perspective. He has these two women in his life, but he needs both women because you see Tasha bringing the intellect, the street smarts, and bringing him back.
Tasha allows him to. There is no opportunity for him to find Angela unless there was a Tasha.
You're right, and he needs both worlds.
He's used all that he can to get what he needs. We went to Connecticut this past weekend and Curtis invited us up to the house and we went and we just kicked it. And one of his friends, Curtis had shown maybe the first episode to, and he leaned over to me and he said, "Man, Ghost is so slick. He's mentally trying to just take everything that everybody cares about. He's trying to take it from them." And I said, "But all the characters are doing that in the show, right?" And he goes, "Not the way Ghost is doing it." And it's true. He's named Ghost for a reason. You don't see him coming or going. And not only literally, but figuratively, he gets in here and you don't realize that he got in. Before you know it, you're sounding even like Ghost. It's a really interesting character to play.
And Lela, with Angela, it's fascinating because you're right. She's this driven, ambitious woman with a goal, but Ghost reawakens that side of her, the personal side. Talk to me about really bringing that to life because it's such a strong female character, both emotionally but also professionally.
Right. I think one of my mentors in the beginning of season 1 made me answer the question, why did Angela leave? And it's like, oh, well, she got a scholarship and it got her out. And it's like, no, why did she leave? And it's the way that he made her feel at that age had to have terrified her so badly that she cut it off. So in this whole life, she sort of cut that deeper aspect of herself off, her vulnerability, her heart, her creative side. And so then success, ambition, discipline becomes a really great antidote to not having that. Except when it comes back, then all of that stuff just, it becomes tinsel. It doesn't work anymore. It's not, and you hunger for the real thing.
And there's so much of this is about ego. It's exactly what you're talking about. All of these guys have such tremendous egos and want to be on top. Talk to me about how ego plays into these characters.
Well, for me, I've just viewed them as I brought them up from the beginning. So I look and go, I know that he's dangerous because he's been pushed, and I pushed him to see how he would respond constantly for being different. You see what I mean? And I know immediately he'll be the bigger problem out of the two between him and Ghost. In my mind, that's why when Pink Sneakers doesn't actually hit Ghost, I say, wait, I got to figure it out because if we do it now, I'll be at war with Tommy within a week. Then I'm not gonna get everything else, everything that I wanted because I'm gonna be busy going to war with him. And it's just knowing the person who's been under. Like the first time you cut someone's body up, we was together. So now, once you start to get to that extreme level of doing things, then you know his capabilities. Like if he's on a good day and you're on a bad day, you out of here.
And also just that, even that Kanan brought us up, and is kind of old. I mean, even by street code, it's like when a mob boss goes away, he's no longer the head of the family. Right. He's still the head of the family. Now, there's a good chance somebody might make a play for power, but in terms of the structure and the street code, he's still the boss. And maybe, that's so Kanan might want to be seen. Is that going to play out in that capacity? But Ghost, he's going to understand in the course of season 2 just how important other people are in his life that he doesn't have as much control maybe as he thought he once did.
It's fascinating because she locates how she can hold Ghost, which is she realizes he needs her intellect. He needs her street smarts because he's gotten away from that. Talk to me about bringing that to life because that relationship is such a unique, they need each other type relationship.
It's interesting. That's so important because they need each other, they stay together. Because they depend on each other, somehow they wind up back together. And it might be dysfunctional, and yes, there's some, bad things happening. But at the beginning of season 2, you'll see Ghost comes to Tasha because he needs her. And the club is no longer right now. And the club is out of commission. So now he's back in the drug game. He needs, like you said, he needs me to be his partner to tell him how to get around these crews battling in the drug game. So I think I am a piece of the glue that keeps it all together so that he doesn't go to jail and so that we don't lose our family, our home, and the kids. I think she's always the woman who's like, okay, I got your back.
What I love right now, there's so much conversation around having stronger female roles in Hollywood, and we're reeling with these two roles with Angela and Tasha, beginning to see their strength, but also their vulnerability come to fruition. Was that a focus in this season to see more of a centerpiece around those two women?
Well, it's always my focus, you know? I mean, I have to be honest, it's always my focus because I want women who are like me on television. The sort of Adam's rib storytelling that we've had where it's like just a character that is there to reflect a man, that's really boring. And it's not the real world. The real world is represented not only, you know, multiculturally, but in terms of gender on my show. And that is really always my focus, to make sure that the female characters are real.
We're starting to see the puzzle unravel. We're starting to see Kanan's true intentions, the deterioration and the struggle between the relationship with Ghost and Tommy. How much do you hold the curtain back? And in terms of revealing piece by piece, it's got to be such a challenge and a struggle sometimes, because you probably want to give some of it away, but you have to hold a lot of it back.
Well, you know, it's funny. Part of it is that in life, it's a natural arc, right? You don't just fall in love with someone the first time you meet them. It takes time. So we in the writer's room always have to go, okay, if this is the point we want to get to, then what are the steps in between? And that's how you really manage the process of doing reveals. It's like, well, you reveal a piece of it at a time, because that's how life really is.